Hello, welcome back. Good evening, everyone. It's finally Monday. We finally have a lot of news to talk about. I've got some personal updates for myself that I will be providing regarding the future of the show. And a lot of news, things to talk about. Trump's response to China, Trump's response to Israel, and what else are we talking about? Money rotating from gold maybe into Bitcoin. Bitcoin finally seeing a bit of love at last. Um, a bit of rising to the resistance that we had in mind, the 111,000. We had a high today of 111,690 and have since come down to 110,452. My average entry is 110,207, so we're just 200 in profit there, which is not too bad at all. Good stuff, finally, right? It's about time. That being said, I know I gave my prediction for this week to be a bit of a downer, and for good reason. There was no real fundamentals or anything that we were going to be expecting for this week, but now we are. Now we are getting more news. I have some more cryptocurrency related news, things related to the Fed, a surprise conference that they will have tomorrow, specifically regarding cryptocurrency, which it's not something they do pretty often. And other stuff, Amazon Web Services, there was a huge outage. We'll be talking about that when we get to our news section. So should be an entertaining show tonight. All right, get ready, guys. Before we do get in, of course, just reminding you to subscribe. That is all. We're very close to the 500 goal. That way we could enable stream donations and, get some of that money flowing. So, yeah. What do we got here? Supports. I'm still looking at that pivot level 109,327. Other than that, there's no real supports, honestly. 102, 100,000 itself. I don't think we're going to be dropping that low, to be honest. Sentiment has kind of changed from what were we extremely fearful to now just fearful overall, which that's a change made for the better, of course. So, and also we are, very close to approaching or breaking this downtrend that we have over here. Once that flips into the green, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to go lower and potentially that being the bottom. This 103,496 that we saw, bottom. We'll see though. Yeah, no big changes here for Bitcoin. I don't plan on re-entering or adding more to the position rather, right? If it does continue dropping, of course, I will be buying over here. But for the time being, no. What is Ethereum doing? Up 0.7%. It did pretty alright. It hit this high of 4,084. I think this is right after my stream. Would have been, yeah, yesterday. We went a little bit higher, which is good, overnight. And, well, we have since come down from there. Current price is 3,964. And I mentioned in yesterday's stream, we are technically still in a downtrend. And even if we do see, price kind of breaking out of the line that I have drawn over here, we just have to readjust it like that. Because it technically means we are still in a downtrend. Until we break out of the 4,180 level, that's when I will get rid of this line and draw a new line from God knows from where. Maybe something like this. As our new uptrend that we will be following for Ethereum. And in terms of supports, I'm looking at 3,673. You could argue that is a little too far, and I would probably agree with you, but we touched on it twice, so it's a very clear support that we have at 3,670. So I have my limit order there just in case we do come down there once more. Like I said, my weekly projection is choppiness, sideways movement, downside movement, decay, whatever you want to call it. Because there is still uncertainty. There's nothing confirmed as, when it comes to good news. Trump has done his best to kind of, alleviate the tension, take off the weight off the markets, right? By giving us some words of hope when it comes to China, when it comes to Israel, and the economy in general, right? So, yeah. But nothing's confirmed, like I said. We can still see tariffs on China, which, by the way, Trump has threatened more of that. And we can still probably see an escalation to the broken ceasefire that took place with Israel and Hamas. But I'm sure they're getting all that under control. We don't want another war because I think everything is going to crash if just these conflicts do continue. Especially when Iran gets involved or other countries. So yeah. Also, Russia-Ukraine, I don't have any news on it today specifically, but that is still something that is going on in the background. Trump is set to meet with Putin in Hungary. That is still yet to happen. I think that's happening Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. No, Thursday. I don't remember. It's fine though. Prices are coming down a little bit for Ethereum, 3,960, and on the way down. Moving on to Solana, 188. This is relatively cheap, and we've got a lot of news on Solana today. Surprised it is crashing. But hey, I'm not complaining. Now's probably the time to... No, now's not the time to buy. We don't have an entry signal on it, right? We need to be oversold so that I could be like, yeah, I'm definitely going to put some money in here. Because, I mean, if you don't have exposition into Solana, sure, you can DCA a little bit. I already have my position there at 191. But, you know... Getting this filled would have been great. Getting that filled would have been great. But life just doesn't go your way sometimes, and that is fine. Downtrend still remains for Solana, and we will remain in a downtrend until we break 203 or higher. The downtrend, the super trend, rather, might come down a little lower, and I would expect it to be around 200, right? If we do see a bit more choppiness, sideways movement for Solana, or just decay in general like that, which is in my expectations. But we do have good news for Solana that we will be discussing when we get there. Plasma, 40 cents today. Had a wick down over here to a low of 37.18. Current price is at 40. Yeah, my order's at 35. We didn't really hit it. 2 cents off again, but Plasma is a volatile coin, and we're not fully back yet, but the sentiment is kind of coming back. It does seem like we did bottom out. It seems like it. So we'll see what happens there. Moving on for Hyperliquid. Had a good rally upward a little bit. 37.78 is the current price. My entry's still at 36.16, and I have an order at 33.22. If that does get filled, we shall see. Still in a downtrend. We will remain in a downtrend as long as we stay below 42.39. That's the level that needs to be broken, the resistance, for us to continue higher. BitTensor had a good run as well. Still in an uptrend. This is one of the few alts in a definitive uptrend. For good reason, right? Ahead of the halving event that's coming up soon, people are pricing that in. Grayscale Trust also in there. And just also genuinely good project. 354 is where the uptrend invalidates, which is a very far distance off. It seems very unlikely that my order down here will get filled, if ever. But hey, sometimes you get like this happening, although I don't think it will ever happen again. But sometimes it does, and yeah, I do plan on entering at 300 or lower either way, so I'll leave that there. But this is kind of approaching this support level at 370, the super trend that is. It's approaching the pivot level support at 370, so if that does get close enough, might average out the two to put a trigger order maybe over here. If we do see a retracement and a bounce to make a higher high, hopefully. Should work out good. Chad Jeets, welcome. Avantis still cheap. You were right. I did see Avantis. I looked at it being oversold for such a long time. I decided not to enter, and now today is completely overbought like crazy. Up 45%. Yeah, I do regret it. I will not lie. This area right over here was the entry. And I covered that a couple times during my streams. It was down there for a while. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to invest in DEXs again. Perp DEXs, because, I don't know, it seems like they're dying. But it's already gone up Swapping 45% today, 69 cents, and rising. What do I have with this? I could remove this Fibonacci. We're not going to be using it. Do we have any specific news as to why it's rising? I didn't really check that. I just saw that it was going up like crazy. And I'm like, that is insane. This is very far. So what we got AI for? Technical, that's garbage. Exchange listings and liquidity impact. OKX added it on October 7th. That's a while back. That's probably not what's impacting it right now. Perpetual DEX narrative resurgence. It rebounded alongside peers like Aster, and that's it. What is Aster doing? Has Aster been going up? That's probably why then. No, Aster is not even going up. The only reason I could probably see Avantis going up, and I'll spoil this, is Solana announcing a perpetual DEX as well. That was the big announcement that was coming out October 20. I talked about this a couple of streams ago, that today was the day that Solana was going to make an announcement, and they did just that. They did announce a perpetual DEX, but I don't know why specifically Avantis is going up due to this news. These guys are more related to Coinbase than Solana, unless there's something intertwined in there. I don't think so. They're two different ecosystems. But yeah, good for Avantis either way. And I mean, relative to its drop, this is a very tiny blip up. The bald one will pump his own chart. Ah yes, Brian Armstrong. Yeah, I know, right? A lot of CEOs are bald. Have you noticed that? Binance CEO, you know, CZ. Anyway. I said a lot and I only named one. I can't think of anyone else. My mind's going blank, but yeah. Funny. Chainlink. Chainlink also had a great day today. 9% up. And there is a reason for this as well. And it comes from the Fed. And also, Hassett. Hassett made some comments. The White House something advisor, economic advisor. I don't remember what he does exactly, but he's a White House guy, saying that he expects the government shutdown to finally end this week. The source is Trust Me Bro, so I don't know. But if that does happen, of course, we know government shutdown has been stopping, you know, use for Chainlink in this sense, because there's no economic data that can come out. And, you know, Chainlink was pumping good after announcing partnership with the White House that they will be releasing economic data through Chainlink to be provided through all the other blockchains, right? And also Pyth. So now the news that the shutdown is probably going to be ending soon, people are seeing, oh yeah, I forgot, Chainlink has partnership with economic data and stuff like that, so we can finally use Chainlink again to show the economic data on chain. There's that, and there is also the Fed announcing this conference that they will have specifically on cryptocurrencies, and something specific that one of the Fed governors has mentioned that might have been a slip up, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, good stuff for Chainlink overall. I didn't really look at the levels, sorry. Price is 1872. We have resistance at 1982. Super trend is flipped bullish at last. And it's so did Bitcoin super trend? No, it did not. Never mind. I'm tripping. But yeah. Support, where I have my entry at 1535.38. Super trend is just on the rise though at 1643. So yeah. Might be unlikely that we hit the support. Something catastrophic will have to happen. And by catastrophic, I mean just Bitcoin crashing a few percents. Sui looked like a decent recovery that we hit up to 267. We're on our way down right now. 255 is the current price. And my entry's at 247. I have support entry 227, that kind of area. And we will remain in a downtrend on Sui as long as we stay under 276, right? That's the level that is important for us to break out of in order for us to flip in an uptrend. It seems like only time will tell by that ends, because As time goes on, we'll either approach this, and if Sui gets more choppiness, or to the bottom, this is just going to follow in a staircase way, right? The super trend, that is. So, just going to have to be patient with Sui, wait and see what it does. I still think it's a very good project. Would love to buy more Sui if it does give me the entry signals. Terms of resistances, after we break the 276, you're looking at $3. Moving on to Aptos. Current price is $3.22. Still on its way down as well. Didn't have a flip in its trend. Still bearish trend. Resistance for where the trend would reverse is confirmation of us breaking above 350, which that is still required to happen. My entry's at 330. Like I said, price is 322, so I'm in the negative. Resistance at 306, maybe even $3 if you really want to average this out. I feel like this whole area is... Did I say resistance? I meant to say support. All this area right over here. But worst case scenario, if that does get broken, so breaking below $3, that takes us down to 279, 278, which is where I have my order guaranteed. We'll be buying there more. Because I already did buy this dip over here, so I don't know if I really want to buy at $3 again. But hey, this is good recovery on Aptos so far, from this point to this point. 13%, and we've since come down to maybe a 10% since that low point. So, you know, I still have faith in Aptos, still think it's a good project. We'll continue to DCA if I get the opportunity to do so. In terms of my positions, I haven't really touched anything or added more to anything. I've just kind of left it there. Something's missing. Oh, well, my bonus voucher, the short that I did on Bitcoin, that lost. Who cares? Solana, I made 457. That was way long ago, though, so ignore that. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I think we're safe to go ahead and move on to our news section. Before that, though, this is how I found out Avantis was like crazy high, because you just see it right over here. It's very overbought. When it comes to oversold coins, there's only one, which is ZBT, which who knows what that does. So everything else is kind of in the middle. That's why I'm not really touching the portfolio today, just leaving it there, looking at what prices are doing. We're seeing some okay recovery, which is fine. But yeah, I'm not going to do anything too crazy in the markets. And Pump Fun, I just want to make sure I sold to the top over here. I kind of did. I don't know, it's hovering around that area. I had such a good entry too. If it does become oversold again for Pump Fun, I will be re-entering. But we are still in a downtrend nonetheless, so that can still drop. So I'm not going all in at the moment. And bad fundamentals for Pump Fun. Not really, no, not bad fundamentals. Just bad general news. When it comes to lawsuits and CEO getting arrested in Madrid. That was funny. No, it's not funny. Poor guy. Anyway, fundamentals are good because, you know, there's a lot of buybacks, deflationary coin, meme coin ecosystem. When Solana gets hot, it's great. If you don't know what meme coin specifically to buy, you get exposure to, you know, all this constant transactions and volume that's going on the Pump Fun exchange. So you could take advantage of that momentum by buying into Pump Fun when it comes to meme season. All right. I'm in the negative on Bitcoin. Hooray. Should have taken profits up here. I was making like 800 over here with this very tiny movement. And I'll admit it, the greed got to me and I'm like, this can go much higher because we are not overbought yet. It goes in waves. Not everything can go up forever. So like I said, I'm expecting even more like sideways or choppiness movement. But eventually, like when we do inevitably break out, because they're just... I've got plenty of reasons why we will break out, and I'll talk about it when we get to our news section. Yeah, like this will be much more in profit. I know I should not marry my bags. I should not keep these positions open for too long. If I see something overbought, I'm out. I'm just taking the profit, and let me know when you're oversold again and I'll rebuy. Right? It's kind of the deal that I've been doing. All right, great. Let's get into the news section. Starting off with President Trump. Obviously, always. He says that we will end up with a strong trade deal with China. He's been talking a lot about China, given his comments on it. He said that China may also pay a 155% tariff if there is no trade deal by November 1st. He's upping the stakes here. It used to be 100%. Now it's 155. Yeah, even like while we're getting a nice rally, Trump's like, it would be a shame if someone tweeted about tariffs right now with our small Bitcoin rally, little quote unquote rally that we were having. Everything that was mentioned before, China was going good. This is before the rare earth threat mineral from China. Trump was going to be meeting with Xi Jinping in South Korea. Trump was going to be inviting Xi Jinping to the United States. Xi Jinping will be inviting Donald Trump to China in 2026. All that kind of stuff. It was all looking good until China did that thing. Trump tweeted that he's going to tariff China again because of this. And then markets crashed like crazy on Friday, after market hours, of course. And now Trump is going back on all of it. Taco effect, by the way. And he's saying, yeah, we're going to be meeting up with China again in early 2026. Xi Jinping is inviting me. In summary, he's been saying, yeah, China has been respectful of the United States. China is paying a lot of money to the United States via tariffs. He will still be meeting with Xi Jinping in South Korea in a couple of weeks after saying that he would not be doing that. Remember, on Friday, he's like, I don't know if I want to meet up with this guy anymore. So he's walking back on all those threats. China may pay 155% tariff if no deal by November 1st, we talked about, and he expects to work out a fair deal with Xi. Oh gosh, it's a roller coaster with this Trump guy, but we love him for that. Trump announces a new deal with Australia on critical and rare earth minerals, so good, step in the right direction, I guess. Alright, Middle East. Vice President J.D. Vance and the Second Lady, Usha Vance, have boarded Air Force Two en route to Israel. Will they finally, sort things out over there and be like, hey, guys, no war, please. We just signed the ceasefire deal. Go home. Hopefully. This comes after, of course, if you're not aware, Netanyahu says that Israel dropped 153 tons of bombs on Sunday on Gaza because Hamas broke the ceasefire deal by allegedly killing 2 IDF soldiers. And then Trump spoke today and reporters were asking him, you said that we will eradicate Hamas. Does that mean the we, American boots on the ground? Which is not what we want. We don't want American troops going to fight other wars, right? But Trump confirmed it and says, hey guys, no, don't worry. We have 59 countries. Countries called me when Hamas started killing, saying, oh, we would love to go in and take care of it ourselves. Israel would go too within 2 minutes, and they did. Trump could tell them, go in, but we'll give it a chance right now. Hamas doesn't have Iran anymore. They have to be good. If not, they will be eradicated, is what he says. And the we that he's talking about, that we will be eradicating Hamas, apparently doesn't involve American troops on the ground. Apparently, the other 59 countries will take care of it for us, or even Israel themselves. But let's just hope that it doesn't get to that point. Let's just hope that, finish up the ceasefire deal, stop the killing, and go home, right? We'll see, though. This is what I was talking about. White House advisor Hassett, is it Robert Hassett, Richard Hassett, something like that? He says the government shutdown is likely to end sometime this week. That would be good for a couple of reasons, because economic data, right? We're finally going to be getting all that stuff. You could argue it could be good or bad, but I think we all know it's good. There's a high chance of us getting a rate cut in October 29, end of this month, from the Federal Reserve meeting that's coming up. Because of, the government shutdown, all these job layoffs, the labor market did take a hit, and the Fed is going to have to do something about it, ignoring inflation for the time being. That means that we will be getting a rate cut. There's that, and there's also, the SEC is closed. They're not approving ETFs, and we are well overdue for a lot of ETFs that were supposed to get approved that could not get approved because the government was shut down. I've explained that a lot of times, but when the government shutdown ends, the SEC is just going to go, and just approve everything immediately. I hope. We'll see. That's including Litecoin ETFs, Solana, XRP, Cardano ETFs, and some other irrelevant tokens in there. But it's not all of them immediately, right? There's still some scheduled in the future, right? There's some scheduled for November, some in December. So it's going to be a process over time kind of thing. So yeah. And it would also be good if they, do something about the Bitcoin strategic reserve. What if they were like, all right, we're back. Here's the proposal for selling all our gold and buying Bitcoin. Would be pretty cool, right? White House has begun demolishing the East Wing to make way for a new $250 million ballroom, a project funded by President Trump and private donors, so making some renovations at the White House if you care. Federal Reserve will hold a conference on Bitcoin and crypto payments tomorrow, October 21st. Surprise. Eyes on the link chart, yeah. And what is this about? So the Federal Reserve Payments Innovation Conference tomorrow explores evolving payment systems. Key topics include decentralized finance, stablecoin models, AI and payments, and tokenization. It's going to be led by Governor Waller, huge, with panels featuring execs from BlackRock, Chainlink, Fireblocks, and others. Interesting. So these important people from these companies will be there too to talk some sense into the Fed. Would be pretty cool. And that's also part of the reason why Chainlink obviously go up today. 9%, 10%. So good stuff. This other Fed governor, Michael Barr, says that stablecoins could be backed by Bitcoin under the recently passed Genius Act. Saying the quiet part out loud. That would be good. Being backed by Bitcoin, that means that a lot of companies will have to buy Bitcoin to collateralize their stablecoins, and it will be fully decentralized. Something that we're already seeing with USDE, Athena, right? They're doing that already with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Truly decentralized backing of a stablecoin, right? It seemed like it probably had issues that day when everything crashed, when everything had its flash crash on Friday. But I think overall it should be in the right path. But, depegging or, stablecoin depegging, it's not a good sign. But I'm sure they'll find ways to improve that. Hopefully. We'll see. Gold still hitting new all-time highs. We know that Bitcoin is next because eventually money will rotate out of gold into Bitcoin, and there's trillions of dollars being added into gold. Right? Basically, Bitcoin's whole market cap being added into gold. That kind of money does exist and can go into Bitcoin. If we're adding the market cap of Bitcoin into gold multiple times, just take one of those times and add it to Bitcoin and you have the price of Bitcoin doubled, essentially. Not saying that it will double. It can. So don't be surprised if you see Bitcoin 200,000. Just saying. Anyway, I'm not sure if that really will happen. This was funny. Sky News, I don't know from which country they're from, but they were talking about Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers, and the seizure of their assets, right? Talking about the money that they have and saying that they will be seizing all of their 21 million Bitcoin, which is worth $400 million. And like, okay, pal. First of all, the Tate brothers do not have 21 million Bitcoin. There's only 21 million that can exist ever. And even if they did have that amount of money, they would not have $400 million. They would have $2 trillion, basically. So that's just factually incorrect, but it's funny watching boomers struggle with cryptocurrency. Sorry. But yeah, and Tristan Tate says, yep, I do have all the Bitcoin. Funny. Bo Hines says, never sell your Bitcoin. Based. For prediction market users have bet $62,000 in total that Satoshi Nakamoto will move some Bitcoin in 2025. Interesting take. The odds have spiked from 2% to 15% just this month in October. Reminded that Satoshi Nakamoto, creator of Bitcoin Anonymous guy, we don't know who it is, has his 1 million Bitcoins there still untouched since 2009. And people are betting on him, betting on the fact that this guy might move some of that money around in this year, by the end of this year, right? in 2025? I don't think so. We'll see though. Michael Saylor doing the thing again with buying more Bitcoin. He acquired 168 Bitcoins for $18 million. I think he's broke. Only 18 million. Come on, you can afford more than that. He bought at an average price of 112,000. How do you buy at 112,000? We never even hit that. Blame the OTC markets, I guess. They now hold 640,000 Bitcoins. Not too bad. It was cheap. If I was Michael Saylor, first of all, I would not be buying at 112,000, but fair enough. Sunday, it was on the rise. So, I don't know, maybe OTC markets were getting a bit greedy with how much they were offering Bitcoin to be sold for. Fine, but yeah. Anyway. We have a hyperliquid insider whale that is doubling down on its Bitcoin short. Now has put $121 million, 10x leverage, with its liquidation price at 135,000. Hey, that's my target. Unironically, yeah, that is genuinely my target. The price I'm expecting Bitcoin to hit, guaranteed. You have the math, you guarantee that Bitcoin will hit 135,000 by the end of this year. And that's me being super conservative. I think it will go much higher than that, but I'm keeping my expectations low because I want to be surprised in a good way, not in a bad way. And no, that is not financial advice. I am wrong. Trust me, I am wrong, so don't take that as financial advice. Bitcoin will not hit 135,000 for legal reasons. There you go. But it will. It will. And not really. Who knows? Okay. Speaking of hyperliquid again as well. Oh, by the way, yeah, this hyperliquid whale that is shorting Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure it's going to incentivize a lot of people to stop hunt that guy, right? He's already in the negative. What is he going to do? Sell, losing how much $1 million? Oh no, he's at 781,000 loss. Imagine. Look at this funding rate though, it's negative, so he's being paid $10,000 in funding fees. Crazy. But his entry price is at 109,000, so if this guy is smart, he will probably take profits as soon as Bitcoin's price goes like below 109,000 and he should be out. Like, yeah, I'm making whatever, give me a number, $1 million from this Bitcoin short. I'll just take my profit there. Crazy risk reward, by the way, risking 121 million to make another million. At that point, what are you even doing? Why do people have this kind of money? Crazy, crazy. Anyways, yeah, so speaking of hyperliquid, what's this called again? Alpha, I forgot what it's called. Alpha Arena. The AI race as to which AI model is better at trading. We have a bit of an update on it. DeepSeek's still on the lead, but Grok is catching up very much closely in terms of its capital. They all started off with 10,000, right? Claude is on its way up as well. You know, it had a slow start by, you know, thinking for a while, not buying into anything. It bought one. I think it only bought XRP, I think, or shorted XRP or Bitcoin, one of the two. I could check the Hyperscan. But now it's third place on the rise. Bitcoin is in the middle there. It's like the competition that they're having. Can you outperform Bitcoin, basically? And this one, what's it called again? I have the title somewhere here. Quen is what it's called. So this is the Alibaba AI. In fourth place, underperforming, of course, and ChatGPT and Gemini are doing the absolute worst, losing $3,000, $4,000 already. Crazy. But we'll see. DeepSeek was literally built by China's top quant firm and China's top quants. Yeah, so people are heavily betting on DeepSeek to be the winner. Like I said, I don't know how long this race is going to last for, but they're still there. Grok has been catching up, though, to DeepSeek. It has closed 0 trades. It's still holding the same positions since the race had started. Well, yeah, that's pretty good, I guess. Let me check Hyperscan. Here we go. I think I have them saved, right? So I could just look up what Grok. Here we go. Yeah, the positions remain unchanged. It's making 2,000 in profits right now. What's the other one? DeepSeek. It just basically went long on everything. And it makes it seem like it's a super genius. Good prices, I guess. Entry prices, like on Ethereum, 3,800. That's pretty good. Solana 182 entry, that's pretty good as well. Bitcoin 107 entry. Binance 1,073 entry. Ripple 246 entry. Dogecoin 0.18. I'm pretty sure... Oh no, this is DeepSeek, yeah. Grok was shorting XRP if I'm not mistaken. I already forgot. Alright, Grok. Perps. It was shorting XRP, I think. I don't remember. I don't have Quant? Is that what it's called? No. I forget the name. Why do they have to make the name so complicated? The Alibaba one. Whatever. Yeah, I don't have it saved. I don't know what the address for it is. Gemini is the other one. Claude we'll look at next. Gemini's underperforming. The worst performer. Losing 3,675. Don't take financial advice from Gemini or Chat GPT. Or I think I put GPT. Why is my keyboard not working? Okay. GPT 5. It also went long on everything, but just at worse prices. But it's open and closed many positions, and it's at a total of 3,000 dollar loss, right? And Claude was the last one I was going to look at. Claude. It's only long on XRP and Ethereum, but it looks like it made the right choices. It went really long on XRP the most right here. That's why it's making the most profit. Cool. There's your little update. Ripple-backed Evernorth plans a NASDAQ listing to raise over $1 billion, aiming to build the largest publicly traded XRP treasury, as per Reuters. I did the math on this. $1 billion, if you buy into XRP, you're only going to increase it by 1 cent. I know, big change. And they're doing a DAT on NASDAQ listing, so that should be good. But Chris Larson just offloaded 50 million Ripple tokens, which is worth $120 million in the past hour. Yeah, he's using you as exit liquidity. XRP team keeps dumping on your head. Why is everyone so bullish on Ripple? Chris Larson just taking his profits. Why? Solana founder Anatoly Yakovenko, he announced that he is building a new perpetual DEX called Percolator. Terrible name in my opinion, but hey, congrats. Another one that gets added to the pile. We have Avantis, Apex, what's the Binance one? I forgot. Aster, and Justin Sun, the Sun DEX from Tron. Hyperliquid, of course. How can I forget? And some irrelevant ones that I forgot about too. Gemini introduced a Solana credit card, which offers up to 4% cashback, I'm assuming, in Solana with automatic staking for rewards. That's pretty huge. Gemini's going crazy. I think they also announced the Ripple credit card as well. So they're going places here. I think Coinbase is also doing the same thing, but with Bitcoin. Good innovations. I like it. But, of course, we saw Solana took no impact. Had no impact on the price of Solana, right? Whatever. Its time will come soon, I'm sure. Even Grayscale thinks that Solana is very undervalued, labeled Crypto's Financial Bazaar. This report emphasizes Solana's strong on-chain fundamentals, which are deemed necessary for its future growth, positioning it as the leading blockchain. So even Grayscale, by the way, very bullish on Solana. Can't wait for the Grayscale ETF so that they can start dumping, right? Contrary to popular belief. Anyway, Solana fundamentals include network fees, operational scalability, on-chain applications, a robust on-chain economy. Grayscale noted that the Solana market cap does not fully reflect the strength of its network fundamentals compared to other layer ones, which means that it is undervalued. I agree, it is undervalued. 187 Solana, it's pretty good. 9 public companies currently hold 2.5% of the Solana supply. Nice. And Solana also posted this. While Amazon Web Services Cloud faces a widespread service outage, Solana continues to operate without issues. Roughly 10%, less than 10% of the stake currently resides in Amazon Web Services. Solana is globally and data center diverse, preventing any singular operator outrage from affecting the network's uptime or performance. And this will segue into our next topic with Amazon Web Services' huge outage that happened today, apparently causing many services to go down. Some of them happened in the crypto industry, which upset a lot of people because it's like, hey, isn't crypto supposed to be a decentralized ecosystem? Why are we relying on a centralized organization like Amazon, for example, for your services, for your servers, right? Whatever. Less than 10% is what Solana uses on it, so they weren't really too impacted, which is fine, I guess, but still sparks concerns for many other companies. A massive Amazon Web Services outage early morning sent major websites and apps down for several hours. I'm sure you recognize a lot of these. Tracking site Down Detector has received over 8 million reports around the globe. And this is a big event that will happen once in a blue moon. Last year, it happened with CrowdStrike, another cybersecurity company that a lot of airport companies were using, hospitals, big institutions like that, suddenly, had errors in with their servers. And, CrowdStrike had a huge suffering in their stock price when that happened. I'm pretty sure we can probably guess where it happened. I'm assuming it was here. July 2024, it seems right. Huge crash from 391 all the way down to 207. But hey, we've recovered since then, so good for CrowdStrike. And if you're wondering if Amazon took any hits today, the answer is no, they're actually up. Kind of. Really no big impact. Like, this was already in a downtrend, so that's unsurprising to everyone. This is a separate issue, and the outage happened today, so this is the 4-hour chart. It's still on the rise, so yeah, Amazon stock took no damage to it, but some of the sites that were affected were, Adobe. I'll just name the ones I recognize: Amazon, Apple, AT&T, Battlefield, Canva, ChatGPT, Coinbase, Dead by Daylight, Delta Airlines. So a lot of game companies, apps like Duolingo, EA, I don't know what FanDuel is, Fortnite, GoDaddy, Grubhub, HBO Max, Hinge, Hulu, IMDb, Instacart, Kick, League of Legends. I don't know a lot of these, honestly. Lyft, McDonald's, Microsoft, Peloton, Pinterest, PlayStation Network. That's crazy. You cannot play games. Pokemon Go, Rainbow Six, Reddit, Ring, Robinhood, Roblox, Roku, Signal, and we'll talk about Signal, Slack, Smartsheet, Snapchat, Square, Starbucks, Steam, Strava, T-Mobile, Tidal, Ubisoft, United Airlines, Venmo, Verizon, VRChat, Wall Street Journal, Whatnot, Xbox, Zoom, and Zillow. A lot of companies impacted, among the few. And Signal was, if you don't know what Signal is, it's basically like Telegram, like WhatsApp, but meant to be decentralized, right? There was this huge issue, I remember many years ago, where people were like, oh, uninstall WhatsApp, use Telegram or Signal because, Mark Zuckerberg bad and he steals your data, he sees your private chats that you send on WhatsApp. But they're like, no, guys, trust us. It's end-to-end encrypted. We have no access to it. But still people were like, no, we're converting. We're switching over to Telegram. And a lot of people switched over to Telegram. And that's when I installed my Telegram. Just like because I was affected by the whole narrative. Like everybody was like, oh, we're switching to Telegram. And I'm seeing everybody download Telegram. I'm like, okay, I'll switch to Telegram. And there was like either that or Signal. But I think Telegram kind of won that war. But now Telegram has just kind of been pushed to the side. WhatsApp is still in the lead, in my opinion, at least. I still use WhatsApp a lot more frequently. Telegram I'll use like maybe once a year, and Signal I don't even have it installed. But you know, high government officials, important people that don't want their chats leaked, stuff like that, people like Elon Musk, I would say, are upset that this Amazon Web Services impacted a company like Signal. It's, you know, why is the Amazon Web Services outage affecting you? I thought you were decentralized when it comes to Signal, right? So even Elon Musk commented, it's pretty weird that an AWS outage caused it to fail. He got community noted saying Signal uses end-to-end encryption. Messages are encrypted on device and only decrypted on the recipient's device. So the servers, including cloud servers like AWS, they relay ciphertext and they can't read the content. So Signal doesn't claim to be decentralized, only end-to-end encrypted and open source. Basically the same as WhatsApp or Telegram. Right? So yeah. And of course Elon Musk is flexing on everyone like, hey, X works. Twitter did not go down during this Amazon Web Services outage because they don't use it. I don't know if he's trying to claim that it's decentralized. It's definitely not. It's a big corporation and they're not decentralized. Elon flexes as the internet melts. As AWS choke and apps across the web face planted, one platform kept breathing, which is X. You're going to notice that a lot, right? Sometimes, I don't know, Discord will go down or Instagram will go down, Facebook, any big social media platform, and people will all run over to Twitter to see, oh my gosh, is this platform down? You're going to notice that all the time. Like, it even gets trending in the hashtags like, oh, Instagram down or something like that, right? And you'd usually see the memes like people flocking to X to see if Instagram is down, stuff like that, right? Funny. X stayed online, while giants like Snapchat, Roblox, Canva collapsed. No AWS dependency, no excuses, just uptime, while the rest of the internet played dead. Say what you want about Elon, but when the cloud caught fire, X didn't blink. Okay, cool. This was upsetting in my opinion. He did the thing again. He did the 2021 thing. He posted an image of his Shiba Inu dog, Floki, and says, Floki is back on the job as ex-CEO, and this was animated with Grok. He's also just trying to showcase, of course, his AI Grok is able to animate images. He's always encouraging people to do that, and well, there you go. Now you got the attention of the crypto bros. Floki, if you don't know, is a meme coin that originated in 2021 after Shiba Inu, and it is up 14% today. It was higher. What were we in total? Give me the highest number. 33% at its peak. Crazy. It's on the way down. People are taking profits already. Don't expect that to last. This happened a lot in year 2021 or 2022 for that matter sometimes. No, I don't think not in 22, but you know, Elon Musk would post an image of his cute dog and these dog meme coins would go flying. I'm surprised Shiba Inu has not gone up higher. I guess he specifically mentioned Floki, so that's why it went up. And yeah, they created the meme coin after his dog. And they're trying to do the same thing. There's other attempts to do it with, like, you know, CZ when it comes to his dog named Broccoli. They tried doing the has it been delisted yet? Oh, it's still here. Broccoli. Oh, it's up 2%. Nah, this is a dead coin. What is this pump? This is when BNB meme coins got hot again and then everything got rug pulled. Funny. But yeah, this is like CZ's dog from Binance. Pathetic attempts at basically replicating this sentiment, but only Elon Musk can really do it right. So there you go. Sometimes he'll post something about Pepe the Frog and Pepe meme coin will surge, that kind of stuff. So the effect is still there. This happened in Paris. They walked into the Louvre Museum at 9:30 a.m. Thieves used a crane, smashed a window, stole the French crown jewel in 4 minutes. No violence, just precision. If a world-famous museum can be robbed in broad daylight, what does that say about the guardians of culture? I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, interesting. Thieves just went in, smash and grab on the Louvre. I guess there's no security there. What's going on? Apparently they stole like Napoleon jewelry and stuff like that. Very important stuff that was stolen. They better sell this for Bitcoin at least. Thieves smashed into the Louvre Museum, cracked 2 high security cases. Clearly not. and stole jewels once worn by queens and empresses, including the diadem of Queen Marie Amélie and the emerald of Empress Marie Louise. I have no idea who these women are. The damaged crown of Empress Eugenie has been recovered, but her tiara, the Orleans sapphire parure, Empress Marie Louise's, and I don't know what I'm reading, 2 diamond brooches remain missing, with officials confirming only that a second unidentified jewel was also found. This is one of them that was found. The crown of France was lying in the gutter. It was found and it was broken outside the Louvre Museum. So they found one of the pieces, but, you know. Suspects, I believe, remain at large. I don't know. I don't have much more details upon it, but yeah, crazy stuff. And my last bit of news, space news, because I like space, and I don't care if you'd like it or not, I want to cover it. NASA officials just officially announced that the Earth has 2 moons until 2083. I don't see a moon. If I look out my window, that is a lie. It's hype, really. It's a sensationalized, misleading exaggeration of a real astronomical discovery. So we basically have another asteroid that's not that large, that is orbiting the same trajectory that the moon is orbiting around us, basically, right? It's not that NASA has officially announced or confirmed that Earth has 2 moons. Instead, astronomers have identified a small asteroid acting as a temporary quasi-moon that will share Earth's orbital path around the sun until approximately 2083. So it's not a true second moon, and story has been amplified by viral social media posts and clickbait articles without direct sourcing from NASA. So it's clickbait, but it's cool. I wonder if there's gold on this asteroid and if we can mine it so we can dilute the whole gold supply, make it worthless, and get all of that money into Bitcoin. Wouldn't you agree? Anyway. Yep. That's all the news I had to cover for today. So what to expect? For tomorrow, I will be off. And I'll talk about a bit of a personal update on my end. Your boy might be getting a job soon. I have an interview tomorrow. It's going to be at 4. I'm applying for an afternoon shift. So if I do get hired, that means I will be working from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Meaning that I will not be able to do the streams because I stream at 9. Right? Maybe. What if well, there's 2 things that I could do here. One, they have 3 shifts. They have a morning shift, afternoon shift, and a night shift where you work literally overnight from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. 8-hour shift, right? I'm thinking if I could take that one. I'm more of a nocturnal guy either way. I don't like the daylight, sunlight. I try to avoid it at all costs, although I shouldn't. My vitamin D levels are low, but I think I could handle a night shift. The pay is a little higher. It's like 12 cents higher. I don't even know if that's worth it. I don't think it is. Ruining my whole sleep schedule over. But it's also like, what do I do in the mornings, really, other than just rot? So, thank you, Edwin. Thank you for those kind words. Yeah, I hope so too, because it would be nice to like actually have a real source of income. I've been doing fine with cryptocurrency, but I mean, after Friday, a lot of my hard work was erased, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to recover this somehow. I know what to do, so I will be fine. And I'm not actively trading like every second of the day. Yeah, I look at charts a lot. Yeah, I'm always checking Twitter for news, but really stick to the 4-hour chart. Check oversold, overbought levels. They tend to be right most of the time, especially when markets are in an uptrend overall. Like looking at the weekly chart is an uptrend. That's when you know you're safe to do the 4-hour RSI strategy that I'm using. So there's that. It doesn't require too much, constant looking at the charts, like I said, so I can dedicate time apart from that. So there's a couple things, like I said. I could come back at 10, maybe start my stream at 11. I don't know if that's going to be too late. It's going to be a 1-hour stream, so that means I'll be yapping away in my house until 12 a.m. and then I'll go to bed. Which, it's fine. I usually do technically go to sleep at like, by 12 I'm already, getting ready to go to bed. There's that option, or there's the other option where I take the overnight shift. I keep my streams at 9, but it's going to be tight because my shift would start at 10, right? If I'm streaming from 9 to 10, I literally right now, pretend I started streaming at 9. It's already 5 minutes away from being 10 o'clock right now. and I'm at the end of my stream, I would have 5 minutes to pack up and leave, meaning that I would have to prepare the stream before that and prepare whatever I have to pack up with, you know, my food, my lunch, whatever, and eat overnight. I don't know. We'll see though. I'm not even confirmed with getting the job, but that's just a little update as to what's been going on. If I do get it, I'll of course keep you guys informed and all that. But just letting you know, if I do get the job, a change is going to have to happen with the schedule of when I stream. One other option would probably be streaming in the mornings, although I don't know if I'd be really comfortable with that. Because what I usually do is I'm always checking the news. I'm watching other people's analysis, other analysts talk about the market, right? In the mornings, specifically when they do like their pre-market analysis or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I like to watch them do that stuff while I do my own stuff. Like, I don't know, making the beds, getting dressed, brushing my teeth, making breakfast, working out a little bit, doing an excuse of an exercise here and there, right? So, and then doing my own like small entries, revising my TFSA, that kind of stuff in the mornings. So I don't really think I would have enough time to prepare like a whole stream in the middle of all that. It's kind of conflicting with my schedule. I don't know. It's going to be a big change, right? If I do take the overnight shift, I'm going to be sleeping in the mornings as well. I won't be able to check markets in the mornings or none of that stuff. So that portion of my life will be gone. I don't know. Some changes are going to have to happen. So we'll see. But yeah. With anything, I'll keep you guys informed, of course. And yeah. For tomorrow then, watch out for that Fed meeting. I won't be streaming tomorrow. I don't stream on Tuesdays. And then Wednesday, I'll probably be back with an update on all of that stuff. And we'll see if government shutdown is over by then. Hopefully so. Alright guys, that'll be all for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe as always. I'll see you next time.